Hey everybody, and thank you for joining me again today. I get to talk with Nishant Phadnis, who is the Chief Product Officer at Rent. I've been looking forward to this for a long time because over the last, actually several years ago, I suddenly saw Rent all over the place. They did a big rebrand, and next thing you know, it's everybody was talking about Rent. And I think it's interesting because you don't see, companies that are that old suddenly feel like they're being shot out of a cannon. And usually that's reserved for startups in the world. And suddenly I saw it with a very big established company. So I thought that was fascinating. So I was really curious about how they viewed the market, what challenges they saw, how they evolved their service to tackle those challenges in multifamily. So I am very lucky enough to have Nishant here to go through that all with me today. Nishant, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, I appreciate it, Brent. Thanks for having me.
So, Nishant, let's start with that shift that Rent had and what you all were seeing in the market, what you saw as far as on-site teams struggling with, and how you approached it, and how you evolved your services and introduced new services to combat that or help them out on that front.
Yeah, I think, part of our thesis when we rebranded in 2022 was this notion of being a solutions company and not just an ILS, which is a traditional acronym that you hear in our industry, Internet Listing Service, which is arguably just a website. And we were more than just a website or just an app. We had pretty robust marketing solutions that expanded beyond a website, like search, PPC, like social, like reputation management, like a virtual leasing office. And when we spoke to a lot of marketing professionals in the multifamily industry, what we identified is that their needs and their unmet needs, arguably, to help service their properties and help make them shine, expanded well beyond just marketing on a website. And the evolution of marketing, the technology, where renters are going, evolved so aggressively, arguably, in the past 5 to 6 years that we wanted to capture that. We did capture that, and we then ultimately repositioned ourselves in the market to ensure that the multifamily industry knew who we were as a company and as a brand, and that's kind of what we saw and what we heard, and then ultimately what we did in 2022, and it's been a great year since.
On site, you're talking about, you offer, solutions to get leads and that sort of thing. But there's so many things that the on-site team still has to do to make that happen. I remember when social media first really, gained traction in multifamily, and I was astonished with how much we were asking the on-site teams to actually accomplish and be experts in. Like, how are they supposed to know exactly how to use all the different social media tools? How are they expected to know, how to use them effectively and engage people? Because that's a whole different skill set. And they're still supposed to lease apartments. How are they supposed to accomplish all those things? So I think that there's so many things that we ask of the on-site team on the marketing realm that really they're not trained for or don't even have the capacity for, it seems like. So tell me about what you saw as far as their pain points go, and then
Yeah.
what you did to roll out solutions for that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think a lot of folks, typically when they think about our industry, really think about the top players, right? The large corporations that have the resources to have dedicated marketers that coverage maybe just one site or many sites. But that actually is the minority. The majority of our industry are small players, and they have leasing agents that have to figure out marketing, but also have to figure out maintenance and package pickup and, lawn care and all of these things that they have purview over. And one of the things that we learned is, we're not going to be able to solve their lawn care needs or their package pickup needs. But as owners start asking about, hey, how do I get on Meta or Instagram and Facebook or even TikTok? Like, we wanted to be able to provide them a one-stop solution where they can arguably say, oh, Rent has that covered. They not only have a strong brand and a strong website, they have amazing complementary solutions. And as we started packaging that and understanding the one place solution, it it was a kind of a relief, a burden was removed from these individuals at the site that were responsible for so many different things. And it gave them confidence, say, okay, yes, marketing, rent has that covered. I can focus on retention as an example, resident retention, where there might be other challenges they have to face. And so we spoke to a lot of folks, that don't have the resources nor the capital, but are still expected to have operate within tight budgets, right? That's a really common nomenclature we heard. We have a tight budget. What can you do for us, right? And I think we solved some of that pain.
So obviously AI is a big story, in especially there's all sorts of different use cases. Everybody has some of their AI use case, but marketing is especially one that
Totally.
AI can make a huge dent in. So let's walk through that now, because that's a big focus for you all right now as far as creating these tools then to, like you were talking about, take things off their plate, ease the burden. So tell me how you all are approaching AI in the marketing realm.
Yeah, that's a great question. So let me start by communicating what we heard, right? Because over the past 2 years, arguably the word AI has been used, maybe in some cases overused, and then the theater behind AI, right? This notion that every now company is an AI company, right? And we wanted to understand how multifamily industry experts are interpreting AI and then how they're going to use it. And what we learned through speaking to them and qualitative surveys was, a big point here, which was industry professionals want to use more AI in 2025. However, only 35% report feeling confident in using it in marketing, which spoke loudly to me, which is there's a desire, but probably a lack of education, understanding of how to use it. So there's this solution trying to look for a problem, right? And what we did was we said, hey, how can we make it simple to understand? How can we make marketing using AI and marketing work together very effectively? And last year, we kind of launched a big campaign called Conversion AI, which was a byproduct of many different use cases of AI. I'll go through a couple of examples. For example, a lot of these new buildings that are popping up, we have a lot of new supply coming on the market, new construction. And when it comes to marketing new construction, we identified that a lot of these buildings are actually just empty, kind of, not yet staged, not yet visually appealing if you literally took it on its face value. And we kind of leaned in on that, and we used AI to virtually stage these bedrooms or these amenity rooms or the outdoor area. And we have these different mechanisms to help introduce virtual staging, which was never used before at scale, and it really helped new construction buildings. Another good example is being able to use photo optimization. So when a renter comes to our site, we basically send or share a simple photo with them. But not every renter really is excited about a kitchen. Maybe they're not, a good cook. They really want to look at the bedroom or maybe the family room. And so we've used artificial intelligence to dynamically showcase specific photos within the property based on the user's behavior. So if you love pools, you're an outdoor person, we will show a pool photo first before we show maybe the kitchen photo or maybe the bathroom photo as an example. There's other use cases around virtual staging, voice AI is another one that we've been using, social media content generation. A lot of these marketers are trying to figure out how do I develop content to post on my social media pages. There's a lot of great AI that we've introduced for those marketing teams that help them dynamically create FHA compliant content, right? That's the key thing here in our industry. Everything's FHA compliant. And those are just a couple use cases that we published and released last year, and we're really excited to kind of bring to market in 2025.
Yeah, I think the ultra personalized search approach within the platform, like if you know that they care about these different things, then we talk about that on-site tours all the time. We talk to them as as we're kind of getting to know them and understanding what their needs are, and then we don't. Well, sometimes sometimes we do take on the same tour every time, but we're trained as leasing consultants, although I'm kind of retired from that several years.
Yeah.
But to show them the things that they care about most and really personalize that experience for them. And so it's the same concept, but doing it automatically via AI, which I think is fascinating. So tell me, okay, so by doing these types of things, you're kind of making this a bit easier, like social media marketing. We talked about that before. It's difficult for them to understand what to post and how to post it in a way that's going to be most engaging. Taking it off their hands. I really think that's interesting. So where do you see the next phase going? Like, how do you all continue to push forward?
Yeah, I think it's still unknown, right? I think we are still in the early innings of artificial intelligence, right? And I think it's not just our industry, by the way. You look at other industries that are still trying to leverage this technology. As an example, the financial service industry, like there's a lot of automation around order form intake and paper. You have the healthcare industry around using AI to help their customer service and using voice AI. You could even take to the extreme in Hollywood, right? Like, are we going to start seeing AI generated movies, right? And like these imaginations of what this technology can provide is still untapped and still unknown. So let's say that out loud, right? And then we start thinking about, okay, what are the use cases that could help, right? I think about content duration. You mentioned that, right? I think that's still early innings. Review management. We've been using AI to help our clients aggregate all their thousands of reviews and and simplify and say, what are the key themes that these 1,000 reviews have indicated around this one property or multiple properties? Are there specific things that I can do to improve the property just simply by using artificial technology to aggregate and simplify what data has been given to individuals? That's another good use case. That's a simple one. But then you have other ones around, is there opportunity to automate through agents? This AI agents is still pretty new, right? Is this going to help leasing agents literally manage their day to day using quote unquote virtual agents? And I'm not saying that outsourcing wise, like, because you have a lot of like virtual EAs out there, but they're just individuals out in other countries. I'm literally saying an AI agent that is trained to know who you are, your tone, your behaviors, and then start doing those remedial tasks. I do think there's an opportunity there that goes beyond marketing. It really goes around productivity of your workforce.
Taco Bell just used AI for my drive-through experience a few
Really?
weeks ago, which I thought was fascinating. I was sitting there going, "This is amazing that they actually rolled it out already." And I like what you're saying about. There's nothing bugs me more about AI than talking about AI in this generalistic approach where it's like, well, let's talk about AI. Well, AI, in my opinion, is very use case focused. It's how is it actually going to be used in specific ways to do specific functions. Unless you're talking about AI from a purely technical perspective, when you're saying about how are we designing AI, in reality, we're talking about how we're taking existing challenges or existing opportunities and leveraging AI to do them better, not just talking about AI in itself. So I love that kind of approach of let's use it in a very thoughtful way to solve real world challenges or real world opportunities.
100%. And then the navigation, I think, is a responsibility of myself and the company to make sure that we simplify it, we introduce it in a way that is understandable and that is practical, right? Because I think once you do that, usage will expand and understanding will expand, and then the clarity just comes naturally, right? And I think 2025 is probably going to be the year where that kind of aha understanding moment happens, and then usage will explode, I think, in our industry and in many other industries, personally.
So you're saying AGI? Can we get AGI in 2025? That's what
I
Sam
don't
says, right?
I don't know. Maybe if Sam Altman and the guys at OpenAI, but there's a lot of companies out there that are catching up. I think some of the things that, as a company for ourselves, like we use Google, we're a Google Suite shop, and some of the things that Google's doing to introduce AI in like Word documents and Google Sheets and email crafting and I think it's pretty remarkable the speed of which this particular technology has evolved. I mean, I can't even keep up. I'll be honest. And I can think of my peers, and I'm in the space, right? It's my
Yeah.
job to keep up, and and I can't even keep up. So I think there's a lot of good application that is still to be unknown and understood. And I think I'm really excited about the future.
Absolutely. Well, Nishant, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Every time I see you, I just enjoy talking with you. So thank you for joining me, and have a great one, and cheers to a wonderful 2025.
Yeah, same to you, Brent. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Congrats on all of your success.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.